Hi, this is Stacia, and we're going to take a look at a tournament game that I played online. So this is part of the Tuesday Tussle, and today I played my third game, well, first game in this tournament, but my third game total against Jim Slagled. So my first game against him, and guess what? He's had white every single game. My first game, he Slagled me, which is on my channel. The second game, I Slagled him. That's also on my channel. I think it's called When Opening Preparation Pays Off or something like that. And now we have a third one. So let's see what happens this game. Okay, so he opened with b4. This is the Polish opening. So I did expect this move, and I reviewed, a couple lines before the tournament. So one thing nice about the tussle is opening preparation is a thing. All right, so e5. And this is all following, so far, the first two games. And now in this position, I played the move d5, which I think was played in the second game, but not the first. I think in the first game I may have castled here. But here d5, same as the second game. He took, I took with the queen. We will allow this capture. Our king is not committed, so he can go queenside. And this would open the g file. Not to mention, this bishop has spent a lot of tempos. So sometimes it's not a good idea to give away your pieces or trade off pieces that you have a lot invested in. And this bishop went here, here, and back here already. So okay, e3. I'm still in my opening preparation. Bishop to g4, knight f3 blocking, and castles queenside. And now bishop to e2. Okay, so in this position, we finally divert from the second game. So in the second game, I played the move queen to a5, which wasn't all that good of a move. And then after a3, I think he played a3. I'm not totally sure. I think I had to retreat my bishop. Yeah, I actually don't remember what happened in the game. But I know that I won it. I can tell you that. All right. So, yeah, I ended up getting a rook wedge on the d3 square. My rook made it to that square in that game. So that's basically the main theme. In this game, I played knight to e4, something the computer showed me right before the tournament. Now, as far as I could tell, this applies pressure to the d2 pawn, which is currently pinned. So I did spend a lot of time looking at tactics on d2. In this position, I thought if he castles, maybe I can take on d2. So let's have a look at that first thing. He didn't play this move, but if he did, I think I can take here. Let's see if that's true. Bishop takes. Now he could start by bringing this knight out. Then I could take again. And then he should take with the knight, I believe, right? So the queen's defending the pawn. I think that's the problem. So like, if he takes with the queen, I take, he takes, and then guess what? I can take on e2, attacking the rook, and the knight's attacked at the same time. So, and then if he goes here, I actually could take the knight. I'm guarding my bishop and attacking his bishop. So this wins for black. So for that reason, he cannot take with a queen. He would have to take with a knight. And then I can trade and take. Yeah, and I guess this position is equal. It says queen g4 check. Okay, fine. I'm in check, so I cannot take the bishop. I would have to go king b8. I guess this position is equal. But this is kind of what I was looking at in my opening prep. Maybe doing something like this. All right, and but in the actual game, he played knight to c3, which I think is a better move. And I'm going to check the engine now. Yeah, it doesn't hate it. It also likes a3. If a3, I would just step back. Notice there's no b pawn to kick my bishop away. So this is actually quite annoying for white, and this bishop is actually quite good. But knight c3, yeah, it's like, you know, I saw here that I could take on c3 if I want, and he will end up with a weak pawn on c3. But I kind of felt like maybe I have more here. My king's castled, all my pieces are super active, and I really thought maybe I could do something better. So I played the move queen to f5, which is an idea I saw when I was preparing for the game as well. I like queen f5 because it pins the knight. So like if he was like, ooh, I'm going to attack your queen and attack your bishop, then I'd say that's good, checkmate. Good game. Except not good. So I like queen f5, it makes threats. It also pins the pawn again because now it's pinned two ways. Well, I guess it's only pinned one way. This way now. So it repins the pawn. And anyway, I thought queen f5 was a little more challenging. Turns out the best way to play is to just take the knight. Just take on c3 like I mentioned. Because if we do this, like let's just say we take, and he takes, and we take, and he takes. Okay, that c pawn is not the healthiest pawn I've ever seen. And here I could probably just go queen c5. Can't go queen c4, otherwise I would go there. But I could go queen to c5, and that's a discovery. And notice how white has the compromised pawn structure. White has the king in the center. So I would think that black is more than equal here, and the computer agrees. It says minus 0.9 for black. So, you know, I really should have played this way. And the game Slagled Antiline went something like this. And I should have... Well, I feel bad that I didn't go into this. I think this is the correct way to play. Instead, I played queen to f5, even though I saw knight takes e4. But the thing about knight takes e4 is it does kind of allow white to untangle a bit. I mean, that's sort of a tempo move. It draws my queen to e4. I don't see another move. Gotta take. And now I thought, you know, white could even play d3 at some point. They could castle and play d3, kicking my queen once again. And then I think probably white's better. So, plus I have to be careful. I chose to castle queenside. But don't forget, there's an open c file and an open b file. So it's very likely that I'll get attacked. But it's also sort of likely that I could pawn storm his king, should he go kingside. Anyway, it's a game of chess, but I think, you know, I kind of missed my chance. I should have given him the isolated c pawn. Alright, so he did castle here. And here I was definitely looking at those tactics on d2. Yeah, I spent 10 minutes on this next move. 10 minutes. I love to think. It's unfortunate for my clock. All right, so I was looking at tactics on d2, but I'll show you why I ruled it out. It took me a long time, I guess. I was looking at all kinds of stuff, but I thought if takes, this is kind of interesting because he must take. I trade. And then I have this move, queen c2, and that is a fork, attacking the knight and the bishop. But then I calculated bishop to c1, guarding the knight and saving the bishop at the same time. And what do I do here? I saw queen c3, but why not just rook b1 here? Yeah, and I'm seeing now the computer even saw after this move, it likes queen g4 check is another way to play. Just unpin and check the king. I didn't see that. Maybe my pawn will fall. Risky pawn to take though. I guess I have f5 here. I also didn't see that. But then I kind of like queen takes g7. Notice the bishop's here too. The queen's defending the bishop. Wow. Okay. So I was looking at those lines for quite some time, trying to make them work. I thought I might be winning if I could take on d2, but I never got any of that to work. So I had to settle with rook h to e8. So here, I guess I should go queen g6, the computer is saying. And I considered this move, actually. I thought queen g6, you have to at least calculate knight h4 here. That attacks the queen. But I thought here, I thought it didn't work, but maybe it does work. I thought I could take, so I just win a bishop. Oh, I see, he could just take back. If he takes this way, I thought I should take the queen. He just took my queen. Then he takes my rook. Now I go... It's not what I thought, actually. Bishop h5. Oh, come back. And the knight is trapped. He will lose the knight. So a3. I would probably step back here. Oh, actually, I could take. I would take. And after this... Actually, I missed this part, but it says black's still equal after f5. What? What is the material count here? I'm really bad at counting material, I found out. So, I have 2 bishops. He has 1 bishop. We both have 1 knight, but he has 2 rooks. I have 1 rook. So basically, I'm down the exchange, I guess. Is that true? Oh, I have rook g8. Okay, rook g8. And if he goes bishop to f6, I can then play king d7. Okay, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Yeah, I just don't know what's happening here, and I don't care enough to look further. All right. Suffice to say that knight h4 is a thing after queen g6. So I was actually right about that. That's why I didn't play queen g6. Okay, so I played this move because it actually kind of pins this pawn. If that pawn wasn't here, I would take the bishop. So, he played h3. I pulled back. And now d4. Now, I think d4 was 100% the right move. I mean, this position compared to a few moves ago, when it was like this, big change. I feel like I had some initiative here. I had more activity here. And Slagled did a very nice job in this part of the game. Because look, he got d4 in. And now he's fully developed and mobilized and all that stuff. So I played f5 here. Queen b3, I thought he would play, and he did. And then I went f4. So what should I play here? I actually didn't know. And how long did I think? Wow, 6 minutes. Yeah, I did not know what to do here. I tried to get knight takes d4 to work, but kind of intuitively, you kind of know it doesn't work. But also, I thought about king to b8. You know, just get off the open C file. I thought about bishop takes f3. But bishop takes f3 always looked bad. Let's try it. Like, once he takes with this, wow, it says I'm losing. Okay, didn't know I was... Oh, I get why I'm losing here, because if I try to defend my knight, that's all well and good, but this removes the defender, and he wins the bishop. So, I actually did see that, so I didn't play that move. And instead I played this. I felt this is the most challenging move. But knight g5 is a very nice reply to this. Okay, so let's understand why knight g5 is so good. Well, it's a discovered attack on my bishop, and the knight is also attacking the queen. So I saw this was possible, and I decided I would play queen g6 here, which is what I did. After queen to g6, he can take my bishop if he wants to, and he did. So I probably should take one of these two pieces now. And I decided on the bishop. Okay. And then here, I actually thought he was planning on e takes f4, because that would win a pawn and defend the bishop and defend the knight rather at the same time, and still threaten this, I guess, maybe. But after this move, can I take on d4? I might be able to take on d4. No, I can't take on d4. If I take with the knight, then that probably just drops my bishop. End of story, right? Yeah. And if I take with a rook, he takes with a bishop, and I drop the exchange. Not only that, but if I want to take back, I still lose the bishop. Tactics. I do not see them. No, I did see this. So here I actually thought he might. Yeah, I thought he would take with a pawn. What should I do here? That's the question. Computer says move my bishop away. Just go to e7, and that way if the knight gets attacked, it's not the one defending the bishop. So I could do this, I guess. Yeah, white's a lot better here after d5, which is the move I was scared of. Wow, the pawn on f4 actually takes away e5. I didn't see that. And now I have knight a5 and stuff's in the way, so the queen isn't guarding the knight like I thought it was earlier. Queen b5. Yeah, you can see that white is doing well all of a sudden. This looks pretty scary. So I'm glad he didn't take that pawn. He instead played this move, which is pretty interesting. Now, the knight is protected by the queen. It's attacking my rook. And it's attacking the f pawn too. Oh, and guess what? There's another thing too. And my kids would say this pawn, my students. But that actually is a big threat because it's a fork. So it looks like a pretty awesome move by Slagled. Now it turns out that there is a good answer to this, which the computer gave me, but I didn't play that move. I played something that is a little crazy, but I thought posed problems for white. I kind of resigned myself to the fact that I was worse in this position. So f3. Now I thought if he takes my rook, I thought maybe I would go queen g5 here. And if g3, I guess I don't know. I would probably take the knight now. So I'm noticing the computer hates this. Doesn't think it's good. So I'm glad he didn't do that. But the computer did like f3 in general. It just says that after the knight takes the rook, I should take the pawn. Probably because it attacks the rook. So king takes is best. But at least now, now I have a weak king that I can work with. So queen g6 check. King h2. Yeah, and now I could either check the king again or maybe just take the knight. So in that game I went here and he decided on the move knight to f4. So he did not take the exchange. And okay, against this I was planning queen g5 because I'm almost threatening checkmate, but it definitely pins the pawn. And now if I could only get rid of this knight, I'd be threatening checkmate. Good thing I have a bishop that can come in, right? So that was my plan. Now I thought he would play d5 here, and I actually didn't know what to do if he did. If he played d5, I was planning this move because, well, I don't know what to do here. But after this and here, wouldn't this be checkmate? Yeah, so I don't think I could play that way. So I would have to do something else like, knight e7. Well, after knight e7, I would think he could just take this. I guess I have knight takes d5 here. That's a pretty interesting move. It forks the knight. The knight's like, I don't know what you call this, pseudo-pinned. He has to keep guarding this square. So if he took, that would be unfortunate. That's checkmate. So it actually forks like the pinned knight, pseudo-pinned knight, and the queen. The queen would go to b5. Yeah, and then here we play on, I guess. Not sure what I would do. Okay, let's go back to the game though. In the actual game, queen g5, g3. And I actually, since d5 wasn't played, I had time to save my bishop from this situation. So he played rook a to b1. Seems like a good idea, right? I saw this would come eventually. So I played b6. Now what's interesting is the computer says that I don't have to worry about this yet because the bishop's in between. And I can actually take on f4, which was my plan. Now I thought after pawn takes, I have to move my queen. And where do I move my queen? Like, let's say I just go, let's say I go here and attack the h-pawn. Well, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking the bishop can move out of the way with tempo, or even this. I guess I could play queen takes. Yeah, wow. I did not see this. I did not see how this would play out. Because, I mean, I'm threatening checkmate now. That's kind of serious. So, oh, he could take here. He has to take here to stop checkmate. Huh. This is pretty interesting. Now I have time to move my knight. Knight e7. Okay, but white's definitely winning here. I have to have this pawn here. Otherwise, I like really don't have an attack. So, okay, let's go back. So I played here just a sub counterplay, and he played bishop here to unblock the battery. Yeah, it's kind of not a good move, in my opinion. Doesn't really make a threat. I thought maybe he was threatening this, but why would that be a threat? I don't have to take the bishop. And if he takes, I take with a pawn. He's not going to sack his queen, so. Okay, so here I actually played, wow. I see now I had a tactic that I missed during the game. Actually, I saw flashes of this during the game. No, not this exactly, no, actually. So after this move, if you want to try and find it, pause your video and find a winning move for black. Wow, what a move. I love this one. Rook takes e3. This is really nice. The rook is pinning the bishop, defending my pawn, and if they take it, I have queen takes g3 check. Now this is kind of serious, right? Because I have a bishop ready to eliminate the knight. And if the knight goes, I play queen g2. Now the king is in check, so he kind of has to just move. But now I can take on f4. Okay, if you don't take back, I'm threatening checkmate. Plus I just won a piece. So it says queen e6 check is best. Okay, I would move. Ooh, wow, allergies, sorry. Okay, I'm still threatening mate, so rook b2, stopping checkmate. But now rook to d6. Ooh, rook to d6. So it's a little bit of a skewer. We're saying, okay, queen, get out of the way. I don't want you to defend h3. And by the way, I'm going to attack it again. And you're going to get checkmated. So that's what that move is. So this looks very nice. In fact, it says queen f5 and then rook h6. I don't see a way to defend that pawn, do you? So they take the bishop, but now I could play this way. That's checkmate unless you want to sack your queen. So black is winning. Wow, I really like that move. Rook takes e3. What a move. I wish I would have seen that, but I had 45 seconds on my clock. So I did the plan I already saw. Bishop takes f4. Now he took with the pawn. Queen f5, threatening this. And if I get that, this. So king to h2. So I did calculate all this. And now rook to d6. After rook to d6, he played rook e1. Now, I guess I should take that rook, which feels counterintuitive. But I should have calculated this sooner. If I take the rook and he checks me, then I'm actually winning. Because, well, I thought rook d8 is winning. Computer likes king b7, also winning. But, why is that? Okay, let's see why king b7 is winning. I'm not sure. I guess because... Yeah, why? If he takes my rook, which he should, I go rook h6. Okay. Attacking that. That looks pretty good. That's going to be checkmate. So h4. And now we play queen g4. Oh, okay. Queen g4 is nice. The thing about queen g4 is that we're x-raying a checkmate. So that means that rook takes h4 is a threat. Because if takes, checkmate. So I guess that's extremely hard to stop. It says queen takes g7. Yeah, queen takes g7. What do we do about that one? Well, it says, oh, we take it, of course. It's not defended. We just take it. Okay, so that's a desperation move. So I guess there's no way out of this plan. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I really like this. I'm probably going to make a flashcard of this moment. I'm taking a picture of it. Hang on a second. Sometimes I like to do that so I don't forget where I wanted the flashcard to be. But this pattern, it wasn't immediately obvious to me in the game, which means that I should probably get more familiar with it so it is immediately obvious next time. All right, so let's go back. I'll show you what actually happened in the game. Sadly, I was better here, but as you can probably tell from my tone, this doesn't work out. I just didn't have enough time on my clock. Rook h6, and now I think I should play queen g4. I like queen g4 quite a bit. I could probably even take on h4. But I played g5. Wow. This is the position I really want a flashcard of. So this moment where I played g5 without thinking, yeah, I played it in 1 second. I went from a winning advantage to a drawing advantage because, well, actually I didn't see why, and neither did my opponent. It's because of queen takes f3. Got to keep an eye on this pawn. It's very, very important. Without that pawn, there's no checkmates on g2. So that pawn is very, very good. Very strong pawn. So that is why this is too slow. So instead, I could have played queen g4. That also defends the pawn. Very cool. I could also sacrifice right away. I could do this. Now if takes, I can take on f4. Or at least I thought. It says it's a draw now after king h3. Wow, really? I guess so. I don't have enough pieces to checkmate. It's just my queen. So it's a perpetual. Alright, so instead of that, knight takes d4 is winning. I don't really understand this move, so let's try to understand it. Okay, I think part of it, definitely part of it, is that this pawn is under attack. But the other threat is this. Queen e6 check. Trading queens. So, yeah, that's kind of a bummer. So knight takes d4 temporarily guards against that. And now if he takes the knight, I take here. Nope, the computer hated that. That's wrong. Now queen e6 check. Yeah, that's possible. Okay. Wow. So we take a pawn. And if he takes back, we don't take? Oh, we play queen takes f4 check now. Oh, I get it. That's kind of a fork. Kind of a fork. Now the queen is not on f5, so queen e6 check loses its power. Doesn't force a queen trade anymore. So we can actually check first, then take the bishop. That's what I think. So let's see if I'm right about that. Rook takes d4. Yeah, this is right. Now queen e6 check is still the best move, but we can even hide on b7. Because guess what? There's no checks. And the truth hurts. We're going to take here and checkmate. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So I guess the best move here is rook to e4. Which gives up material. Alright, if I was white, what would I do? I don't know. Try this, right? Something like that. Well, queen takes h4 is checkmate. So what do you do? Yeah, what do you do? How do you get out of that? Maybe this move? Okay, that guards h4. So now we check. And when he goes to h2, actually we have better. We can go queen g4 check. Notice the rook helping, right? So then here, and then that's checkmate. So this pawns on f3 and f6 are very strong, in case you didn't know that. It took me many years to know that because I didn't study tactics. I studied strategy. But tactics taught me that a pawn on f6 or on f3 is very strong. That is why I put it here this game. And look at all the attacks that come from this. It's been the whole theme of the ending and the source of my advantage in the ending. So pretty instructive game, but I will show you what happened. I did not find the right way forward. I played g5. I took here. That's not a free queen. The pawn is pinned. But then my pawn dropped. Okay, so now that the pawn is gone, I got nothing. White's better. Yeah, and with 30 seconds left, I played this move. I probably shouldn't have. I actually thought I was going to take here with check, and after queen h3, I was going to play queen f4. Until I realized this is check. Then it's kind of like, oh. So I wish I would have seen that at the end. But now I'm losing. And I put up a lot of resistance, but this is a very losing ending. I mean, I'm down a whole rook, but I put up resistance. Tried to trick him, tried to skewer him, tried to push my pawns. I tell my kids never resign, so I am going to listen to my own advice, especially when I'm only rated 1600, and same with my opponents mostly. Yeah, but here it's over. He won my pawns, and I actually was gonna let him checkmate me, but at this point I was like, okay, he knows to play a waiting move. I'm gonna get checkmated, so I did resign here. Okay, so let's do a summary of this game. I want to look at the critical moments. I think there are a few. This was a very good game for me. Let's see. Where's the report? I need a computer analysis. Let's see. Sorry, I'm not as familiar with Lichess. It usually just comes up on chess.com. Okay, I'm requesting a computer analysis. You guys can see the graph. I haven't looked at the graph yet. So maybe while that's going, I'll readjust the screen a little bit. Oh, I can't do the whole board and the graph. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so looks like it's done. So I don't know if you can see the whole thing. You probably cannot. So I'm gonna come back and fix that. Hang on a second. There we go. Wow, it looks like a wild game, doesn't it? So looks like I had 3 mistakes and 6 blunders. My God. Well, when you play crazy attacking chess, I've noticed that it's way easier to make mistakes and blunders, because my opponent also had 4 inaccuracies, 1 mistake, 6 blunders, and he's a 1700 player. Okay, so let's have a look at some of these. So the first one was here. F4 it doesn't like. Now I actually consider my mistake to be a little bit earlier. I actually consider it to be here. I'm not sure why it waited so long. What's this point? Yeah, Queen F5. This is the moment of Queen F5. I should, I think, take on C3 here. This is the right way to play the position. I think this is just fine. We play positionally. Okay, I'm better developed. Your queen's attacked. You have to move it. You have a weak C pawn. You're not castled yet. Okay, so black has an advantage here. That's what I consider to be mistake number 1. Okay, now, okay, this move F4 it doesn't like. I'm not sure what I was supposed to do there. I guess Queen E6, trading queens. Okay, whatever. Let's go to the next one. It didn't like F6. So, or F3 rather. I really like f3. I'm not upset about that move. It created all kinds of chances later. Like everything you see in the graph later, it was all centered around that pawn. So it caused confusion. So I actually do like that move, even though it wasn't 100% correct. So I'm just gonna go to, I want to go to like clear mistakes. All right, this mistake here, where is this on the graph? Okay, this is a doozy, this one. F takes G5. Mistake by white? Oh, I played queen takes G5, which is a huge mistake. Yes, instead of queen takes G5, I need to play queen G4, defending my pawn. Very important. Or so I thought. That's not the move here? Oh, I think it's knight takes D4. I just realized too, knight takes D4. That's not the right move either. Okay, I'm at a loss. What is the right move here? What is going on? This is not the position I thought it was. What could it be? Oh, it's rook takes H4 check. Because if I do take, now if he takes, I do have queen of 4 check. And if he moves the king, I probably have queen H3, because then if they take, I play checkmate. Okay. Well, I think I'm running out of steam here, guys. Rook takes H4 was a mistake. Yeah, this was definitely a mistake. But it was a mistake to lose my pawn. I'm not worried about this part of the game. All right, so definitely could have played better this game, but all in all, it was a hard-fought tournament game. I didn't play perfect, but I think there's a lot of lessons to learn. And I'm going to learn them, I promise you that. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next video. Have a great night. Bye.